birthday celebration dinner. And I'm sorry that I'm unable to join you as I'm presently in Singapore. So I've made this recording to highlight to those people who are new, that we can grow with Max International. As this is Max International's 15th anniversary, we have this strong message that for 2022 and 2023, we are going to reboot and we are going to make Max stronger and stronger. So for those of you who are seeing this for the first time, welcome to your future. Now, let me introduce myself. I'm Robert Chan. I've worked in various trading and manufacturing firms in Singapore, Malaysia, and Indonesia for close to 20 years. I started my own ceramic tableware business in 1994 and ran it for 24 years until 2018, when I liquidated the business to concentrate full-time on Max International. So I've joined Max International since 23rd of March 2012. So I'm going to share my exciting journey and experiences at Max International all these 10 years with all of you this evening. Now, this journey started in 2012, right? When 5 of us, we have Rachel Thomas, Boy, we have Amy, we have Eugene. We went down to Singapore because somebody told Rachel Thomas that we should look into this company called Max International. So we met with Dr. Scott Nakasawa, and we also spoke with George Renninger, who at the end of the day was our upline. Okay, so we were at the Hilton Hotel, so we were there for a full day, and we were listening to everything that transpired, and we got to learn about leading medical researchers in glutathione. So what brought them together, the biggest concerns, whether it's declining health or global financial crisis. And we learned about the independent scientists and doctors, And of course, what is most important is that we learned about ourselves. So it was like a crash course. But then at the end of the day, when we finished, each one of us went back with a full package of products to start, because we were inclined to believe that what we heard on that day was true. So a few months later, we went down to Singapore again, about 20 over of us, and we met with the owner, Stephen K. Scott, in Singapore. And he explained to us that they're trying to establish the Malaysian Max office. So we continue, we came back, we continue, we studied, we learned, based on all this, what is glutathione, the bad news about glutathione, the benefits of glutathione. This was all that we had, We were infants. We were our knowledge about glutathione was actually zero, right? It was more a matter of faith that we have in the product. So as we grew with the company, in April 2013, I went down to Indonesia. I went to Semarang, Jakarta, and Jogja, to try and see if I could establish some business in Indonesia. And to my surprise, there were a lot of people in Indonesia who knew about glutathione. So what happened was that in June Rachel Thomas went together with me, with Boy, the three of us, we went down to Indonesia and we went on a sort of a tour, a short tour to meet up with all the people. And at that time, if you can imagine, the only person who was actually doing the presentation was Rachel Thomas. Right? At that time, I was infant. I didn't know much about PowerPoint because in my business as a trader, there was never a reason for me to use PowerPoint. So we went and we visited Jakarta, and then we went to Semarang. And as you can see, Rachel is doing all the presentation. I'm actually, if I'm not mistaken, I'm nowhere to be found. Okay, so it was during this time. This was also the turning point of my life. I was thinking, right, okay, we'll do this business if it comes along. But this became a turning point in my life due to this man, Dr. Vijitra. Right? He was the man who changed my life. The reason for it was that he looked at the glutathione solution, and he told me, Robert, this is something that is very, very special. Okay, it is something that is going to take the world by storm because it is something that is so important to us. Now, of course, in the meantime, his friend was getting a bit frantic, because he was a doctor. He was a very popular and famous doctor in Semarang. And he was telling me, he pulled me aside and said, you cannot let Dr. Vijitra talk like that. He cannot give his full support for a product that he doesn't even know. So you can imagine, to my surprise, that we were doing something that was so significant that a doctor would put his head out and vouch for us being authentic. So at that time, we only had Celgevity. And this Celgevity, because we were not established in Malaysia, we had to import everything from the USA. We became American associates, and we bought the products from the US, imported it into Malaysia, and from Malaysia, for me at least, we sent it to Indonesia. So it was the long way around, and we were doing the business, right? That was how dedicated we were at that time. But Max told us, we are here to support you. At that time, they were only available in 7 countries, all right? But they already achieved sales of more than 200 million in these first 5 years. They were established in 2007, and they paid out more than 100 million in commissions. So in April 2014, they decided that they were going to open an office in Malaysia. Not because they just wanted to open an office in Malaysia, but as you can see from this, the business, of course, this is only on one side of the business, my business, okay, the business that I was doing. But Rachel was doing her own business, and together with the other associates that were in the company, we built up so big a business that Max International could not refuse to open an office in Malaysia. So we had a pre-opening. You can see the amount of people that we had. Okay, we had at that time, it was full house in Max Malaysia. There were more than 500 people who attended the pre-opening. Why? Because they were convinced that we have something that is significant. So it was also during that time that I started to do presentation. Normally I was in the background. I didn't want to do presentation. I was shy because as a trader, I didn't have to stand in front of hundreds of people or many people to speak. So that was my first venture into doing presentation, right? So I had to learn about free radical and oxidative stress. I had to learn about what are antioxidants, just like you. So those of you who are not doing the business, you need to learn. But you imagine that we could build a business without even the proper knowledge of all of this. We didn't have all these tools to assist us. It was only the flip chart that we had. But as we got along, I decided that it was important that I excel in doing the business, okay, by learning or acquiring more skills, not only in the product, but also in the way I presented. So we had to learn about the concentration of glutathione, which you don't find this in any other market, okay? It is only in Malaysia. And of course, the main culprit of this is me, because I have a bad habit. I always want to be the best at what I do. Okay. So we actually improved on the materials that we had. We came up with our own set of slides, our own way of explaining about glutathione, how the building blocks, all of these are not consequential, because at the end of the day, if you are going to do the business, if you grow with Max International, these things will come automatically to you. You will be able to fall back on the expertise of people like Rachel Thomas, like me. You can ask help from Rachel Thomas, you can ask help from me or from any of your upline at any time. And we are always, and we will always be there to assist you. All right. So we had only one product at that time, Max One. That was all that we had. Okay. But then in 2015, there was a competition. Earn your way to the 2015 International Convention. And you see there my name. I beat all the other participants in all the other countries throughout the whole world. So I became number one. I had a specially autographed picture from Chuck Norris, Chuck and Gina Norris. Chuck Norris, if you are not aware, he is the one that started with Bruce Lee in one of his shows. So I was on stage and I was in Salt Lake City, right? And that was where I met Dr. Herbert T. Nagasawa. I met Scott Nagasawa and the other associates from around the world who were also top business people, okay? And when I came back after October 2015, 1 month after my return from the trip to Salt Lake City, I became a platinum. When I went to Salt Lake City, I was just a gold associate. So with this came the perks. So I had to even learn more. So I decided to excel in everything then, not only in glutathione, but also in the way that I presented glutathione and Max International to the people who are going to listen to me. So I had to be more polished. I had to learn how to do things better. I had to polish up my skills. And in April 2016, we were rewarded with a trip to Korea. You can see here, I'm here, and then my wife Annie is together with me. And so, it was a fun time, right? This was all because of Max International. And on October 2016, during our anniversary, we were awarded. You can see the amount of people that we had during those days. And then, of course, as time went by, I had to study even more. I had to be the best of the best. And for that reason, I started to call myself the glutathione man, because I've studied, I've read so much, right? You don't have to be, or you don't have to take the same route as me, right? You do not need to have all this knowledge. The knowledge that I have is for you to fall back upon and for you to grow together with Max International. So in 2017, my wife, Annie, became a platinum. My mother-in-law became a gold associate. And then in 2018, I became a diamond associate. So we have all the diamonds here, and we used to have all the pictures in the office. It was a fun thing. And at this time, during the anniversary, some of our goals were awarded with trips to Bangkok that took place on October 2018, and I went together with them to the trip. Okay. And then in January 2019, because of the platinum ranking that Annie had, we went to Japan. And you see this here. This sumo wrestling is Annie's favorite sport. Okay, she likes sumo wrestling. Okay, so we went to Japan, and we met up with friends there. Okay, we met up with friends there, and it was very enjoyable for us. That was in January 2019. We were in Tokyo. And then in October 2019, the same year, we went to Peru, where I got my diamond ring for my status as a diamond associate in Max International. So a few of us went, with Rachel Thomas guiding us, Amy Tay, her son, Mitch, and of course, because of certain circumstances, my mother-in-law actually went with me for the trip to Peru. So we climbed up Machu Picchu and all that. I was holding this. Everybody thinks that this is a stuffed toy. This is a live animal here. It's an alpaca. All right. So these are the things that we have when you are successful in Max International. So we had, until now, of course, we have only Max 1. And we have Cellgevity. These are the two products that we have. So finally, in November 2019, I went together with my wife for a dream cruise, and everything was paid by Max International. So you can imagine the benefits. You may not have the trips and the things that I have achieved, but you can certainly grow the business even if you take it at snail pace. All right. So we are here to support you. Instead of just 7 countries in 2012, we have now 20 countries in 2022. It would have been more if it was not because of the pandemic from 2020 until 2022. All right. So you can imagine that if we have the patience, 10 years, we will get what we want. So the Max International has a business opportunity. Whether you take it slow or you take it fast, you can imagine your future. We can set the steps for you to follow. And it is time after the pandemic for everybody to reboot. It is the perfect time. You don't have to be held back by anything because you started late or because you started early. Everybody starts from a new slate because of the pandemic. And now is actually the time for you to look at the business opportunity in Max International, right? Attend our meetings, make sure that you look at Max as an opportunity, a business opportunity for stable income. Just like me, I gave up my business. I'm concentrating on Max International now. So I'm actually retired, but I'm doing the Max business. So we want you to experience better health, not only to make money. We want you to experience better success, and we want you to experience better significance. So remember this. Join us today and experience Max Strong 2022 and 2023. Do not wait, right? You can start with baby steps. You can reboot your business if you are already doing the business, but it is time because there is news from Max International. I have been informed that it's just a matter of time before we have a new product that is even better than ribosine. Imagine this, better than ribosine. I'll leave that for the management to explain and to bring this news forward. But in the meantime, be very, very sure that we are the glutathione company and we will excel above everybody else. All right. So stay safe and healthy. Thank you very much. And all of you live long and prosper. Thank you very much.